Good evening to those who are tuning in. I'll speak as though it's a live video. It's evening here, but it might be morning or afternoon by the time you're watching it, or back to evening again. Yeah, a few people are tuning in and watching these videos, which is cool. So I'll keep doing them. Makes me feel like I'm not here shaping by myself. So it's cool to know that some people are tuning in, watching these videos. To those with a keener eye, watched, especially my last video, the dough looks quite different, and if you didn't notice, you can go back and have a look at it. It was much fluffier. They were larger portions of dough that I was dealing with. That's actually just because they had their full bulk rise. So they were really nicely bulk proofed. So the bulk ferment, it had a really nice bulk proof, and it was ready to shape. So I'm talking about the last video that I did. It was really nice, soft dough, really easy to work with, not sticky at all, and how I prefer to work with my dough. But tonight it's getting a little bit late, and the process took a little bit longer this afternoon, and I was a bit busier in the shop, so I had to settle with coming later on in the evening to do my shaping. So yeah, those of you that bake bread know that, okay, so things are a little bit different with this batch. I haven't had their full bulk ferment, so technically speaking I'm shaping these underprooved, and so yeah, if you've never done this before intentionally, or that you were aware of, you might be wondering how I'm going to have nice loaves of bread on Monday for my wonderful customers who come in anticipating bread that's going to be properly proved and properly fermented and all of that. And so if you're asking that question, you ask a good question. Because I don't have any proofers here and I'm not a baker, in that I do much more than just sell sourdough bread. In fact, this is really a very small part of my business. I am very much hamstrung by the temperature that I'm working in, and just the busyness of the day and of the week. So because of that, my dough is not my number one priority in terms of how my day is going, although it may feel like it to others, and it may sometimes feel like it to myself as well. The large part of my business is actually our bulk food store. So our whole store, we sell about probably 500 plus ingredients in bulk bins. The people come and scoop out what they need, and so keeping track of that in terms of where I'm at with my orders, and also serving our customers, that is the big part of my in terms of how our business runs. That's a big part of our day-to-day. This obviously, being sourdough, takes a big part of my day, but it's a very small aspect of this business. Anyway, so why is that important? It's important just to share that I haven't outlaid huge costs to make this sourdough baking easy. And so because of that, I find myself shaping far too late at night. But that's okay. And so here we go. What am I going to do in terms of underproofed dough, you ask? Well, what I'll do is I'm going to shape this dough. I'll put it in the bannetons overnight. I'll put it in the fridge, and then tomorrow I will come here in the morning, probably on our way to church. I'll come through, take the bannetons out of the fridge, and they'll sit out in room temperature for probably about 6 to 8 hours, and that's when they'll do their bulk ferment, their bulk rise. They'll do it in the banneton after they've been shaped, and then I will come later on in the day, put them back in the fridge, ready to be baked on Monday. And I've done this method before a few times, and it works very, very well. So I run sourdough workshops, and it's one of the things that I discuss with those who come to the workshops, and that is sourdough can be very daunting, but more so just to try to fit sourdough into your day-to-day can be just quite difficult. Unless you know and have used these little tips, like putting dough to spend time in the fridge, slow everything down, take it back out. When you're able to take a little bit more, or have a little bit more control over it, things like the bulk rise. If you're not home, something comes up in your day and you have to leave home. So there's lots of little things you can do, and so this is what I'll be doing for this weekend. I'll be keeping this dough in the fridge and dealing with it tomorrow before I bake on Monday. I've heard of bakers that actually do this method intentionally. I probably wouldn't do it intentionally myself, more so because I much prefer dealing with dough that's had its full proof. It's just much nicer to work with, to be honest, and nicer and easier to work with, but that's just me. Everyone's different. So in the last video, I said that I was going to share a little bit about what else I'm putting in my dough. So I just shaped my seed loaves. My seed loaves has Australian pumpkin seeds from Bright, or Ovens actually, near Bright in Victoria, from a farm called Peppo Farms, or some may know them as Australian Pumpkin Seed Company. They're a wonderful, I've mentioned them before, but they are a really, really great business, and from everything from the way they communicate to the customers to the way they farm, they are really, really fantastic. So if you've not heard of them, or if you've not been there, and if you're able to pop up there and see what they do that. In Ovens, just outside Bright. Brilliant, brilliant farm. They'll keep you in their little retail store for a long time with their great service, their conversation. But they're wonderful people. So, huge shout out to those guys. I've also got some Australian hemp seeds from South Australia. I know less about that farm than what I do about Peppo Farms, but my dealings with them have been fantastic. They are a really, really great company as well, great farm. So I put in their hemp seeds and also their hemp protein powder as well. And I put their protein powder in there more just to carry through on that beautiful hemp flavour. So that's why I put the hemp protein powder in there. So that's in my seed loaves. In my fruit loaves, I have Inca berries. It's sort of my must-have, I think, in terms of everything that I put in the fruit bread. The Inca berry is just such a beautiful inclusion to the fruit bread. So Inca berry is a big one. That's an organic berry. I've got organic sour cherries in there, and they're really doing what the Inca berries are doing as well, providing a really nice tart flavour. So they're beautiful. I also have sultanas, Australian sultanas, Australian currants, and whole cranberries, so not the pieces but the whole cranberries. And I've also got some barberries as well. The reason why I put the barberries in there is actually because most fruit loaves have Australian apricots, and I love to put Australian apricots in there. But the really beautiful Australian apricots that I'd like to put in there, they have a beautiful tart flavour. The issue with those is that they have preservatives on them, and I'm really trying to create as natural a loaf of bread as possible. And so all of my dough is organic, and where possible, every inclusion that I have in there is either organically grown, or preservative, and oil free. So that's why I've got what I've got in there. So the hemp seeds and the pumpkin seeds are all organically grown. So no pesticides, no herbicides. The fruit, there is no oil in there, and there is no preservative in there. And so that's a really big one. So the barberries sort of take the place of the Australian apricot. So that's why I've got the barberries in there. And I don't know if you can see them, but they're these beautiful, beautiful red berries. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's a beautiful red berry. It's actually perfect in more savoury dishes, so Middle Eastern rice dishes and that sort of thing. They're beautiful in those, but they're actually really, really nice in fruit bread as well. So I like to change things up, and that's one thing that I like to put in there. end of the shaping. I'll get on to cleaning. That's a lot more tedious, a bit more boring, so I'm not going to video any of that. But thanks for tuning in. Again, these doughs will come out, they'll go into the fridge now, they'll come out tomorrow morning. They'll probably spend a good 6 hours out of the fridge as part of their sort of bulk fermentation, trying to get some air into the dough that hasn't had time to do that this afternoon and this evening. So yeah, these will go in the fridge, bring them out tomorrow, put them back in the fridge on Sunday night, or for Sunday night, and then be baking on Monday. So look forward to the Monday bake. But thanks for tuning in again. If you've enjoyed it, let me know, and please feel free to share it if you like. Again, any questions or anything like that, put them in the comments section. But otherwise, guys, if you're baking, happy baking, and if you're not, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.